Yes. Good evening, people. It's your boy Gums. I'm back again with another episode on the Armoury TV. It's a match reaction. What can I say? Sheffield United 0, Arsenal 6, and we totally blew them out. Um, yeah, lovely way to kind of end the Premier League weekend. I'm here by myself, as you can all see. So listen, make sure you keep the comments flowing because I need some company. I'm very lonely right now. Big up Tony. Big up yourself. He's always in the building. Appreciate you every time. Um, yeah, what can you say? Another big result. Arsenal just ran right in the first half. I was surprised to see Sheffield United start with a back four. So thank you, Chris Wilder, for doing that because they're notoriously play a back five for the last how many seasons, and to try a back four against Arsenal is criminal, really and honestly. But I'm not complaining because it made for a great start. I think we hit the bar within like 2, 3 minutes. Saka hit the bar, and then Martinelli with a unique volley, almost like you press the special button on FIFA, and when he hit that one, the side of his foot, and it got cleared off the line. So yeah, it was a great start. So I was thinking hopefully we get one early, and then we can just roll on. And it didn't take long at all. I'm trying to recap who done what, but I think the first goal was Odegaard. Was it Havertz or Rice who crossed it? One of the two. Might have been Rice. And Havertz kind of arrived beautifully timed middle of the area, and I think it was Rice, yeah, definitely Rice, I think, who crossed it, but it took a deflection, so I don't think he gets an assist for it, because it came off a defender. It didn't really change the angle or anything, but yeah, I don't think Rice gets the assist, but yeah, obviously Odegaard tucks it away, and we're on our way. Um, then I think the second's an own goal. Do you know what? Rather than me guessing, let me just pull it up because otherwise I'm going to make myself sound silly, and but yeah, the second's own goal from Jaden Bogle. Obviously, if you all know, he's from Reading, where I live. Um, and he's an Arsenal fan. Shh, don't tell nobody. But yeah, he's an Arsenal fan, so it's probably bittersweet for him. He scored for the Arsenal, so I'll let him know he's done what most of us dream of and score a goal for Arsenal. But yeah, Saka, great work down the right. And yeah, he's cut it across, and obviously an own goal for Bogle. The third goal then, Martinelli. Why has my mind gone blank? My mind's totally gone blank on that one. Someone help me. I can't remember the Martinelli goal. But yeah, he scored the third. Havertz gets the fourth. That was a good finish. Good work for Martinelli winning the ball back. He actually gets dragged back by the defender. Havertz runs through, and it's a great finish. Like across the box, left foot, drilled it bottom corner. Another solid performance from him. Declan Rice with the fifth, and this is all before half time. Um, yeah, another good finish from Rice. Assist by Saka. He gets the assist for that one. Yeah, so yeah, great goal from him. Good team build up. And this time, Sheffield United made a sub. They've gone back to five at the back. They're sitting in, but we're still just opening them up. It was really interesting to watch, like the way we was cutting through them. And this has been an argument from some of us for a little while: is how do you break down a low block? We've been very successful doing it the last few weeks, so long may that continue. And actually, in hindsight, sure, I know we were now in first gear, second half, but Sheffield United actually looked better, actually pressing us a bit more. And second half, they did look a lot better when they actually came out and actually got close to us rather than just let us pass it around. So yeah, Declan Rice gets the fifth before half time. We go into half time, obviously come out. There's no Saka in the second half. We don't know if that's an injury. I don't know if someone can update me on that. If it's an injury or if it was just take him off now. Um, but he came off for Fabio Vieira. And then Benny White scores, for me, the pick of the bunch. It was a great strike on his left foot. It wasn't the best of sets, if I can remember correctly. It looked like the set was a bit too far away from him, but he caught it flush. And kind of after that, I think we really did, really just went into clutch us up and we just cruised to the end. Um, but yeah, it's just going through it here. So Kivior got the assist for Martinelli's goal. I still can't remember what that one was. Somebody help me, please. I really can't remember what that goal was. Um, and Ben White, Kai Havertz got the assist for Ben White's goal. So all in all different goal scorers again. We're making a habit of this of 4 or 5 goal scorers in a game. Kirill gets an assist, Martinelli an assist, Saka an assist, Havertz an assist. And it's a bit unfortunate because Rice for the first goal, for me, that should be an assist. And yeah, you obviously don't get an assist for an own goal, but again, Saka with that ball. So yeah, it's a bit unfortunate that those two don't get the assist. Doesn't take away from the performance, but we live in an era where everything's about stats and numbers, isn't it? So it would have been good for those two to get those. But all in all, what a great performance! Like as I said, we've totally blown them out of the water. Um, we just keep producing. I don't know if it's Dubai or this new football that's the Premier League have started using, but something's changed and we're just on fire at the moment. It's a joy to watch. And again, you can watch the second half easy. Like, would I like a bit more action in the second half? Yep. Do I feel sorry for some of the subs coming on? Definitely. Like, do you know what I mean? You're coming on again like Trossard and Jesus. It'd be good to try and get them up and running. Well, Trossard scoring goals, but Jesus. But we again we go full pelt and get an injury. You'll be kicking yourself or concede. Obviously, the one negative coming from that game is Martinelli's come off with a little injury. Looks like he's gone to shoot and defenders got there before him and he's kicked the guy bottom of the guy's stud. It looked like the boot was ripped. He ran back, so he was able to run at that moment, but he went down and off he came. Hoping it's nothing serious. For me, it probably looks like just a bruise. Probably looked worse because he wasn't putting pressure on his foot. Obviously, see him getting helped off. He had two coaches or physios either side of him. They have taken the pressure off his foot, so you'll probably get pictures of him in a boot later. But hopefully, it's just a bruise and hopefully it's not that serious. But yeah, I think that would be the only downside. Obviously, it was good to see Partey come back on, even though he gave the ball away a good few times. But we put that down to rust. Um, yeah, Cedric touched the pitch as well. I know some people won't be happy with that. I've got a theory about the Cedric thing. I think with all the injuries we've got in defence, because for me, again, this is a day where you bring your attackers on. So Nketiah's on the bench, Nelson's on the bench, Smith Rowe's on the bench. None of them came on. So I'd much rather see one of those come on than Cedric. However, I think he's keeping him in action just in case there is any injuries to our defenders. Because if any of the back four get injured, he is the one to come in next, even if it's at left back. He would play left back if it's a centre back injury. Either Ben White or Kivio will go centre back, and Cedric would either go left or right back. So he is next in line to play if there is an injury or suspension. So I believe that's why Arteta's playing him most games when we can make a sub, and that's to keep him fresh if he has got to come into an important game. Just say he has to come and start a game which is 0-0. Um, he's fresh. So that is my reason I think why he's playing him. Because again, it seems to be White that comes off a lot as well. So I don't know if maybe White's nursing something like he's fit, but you know when people have those little niggly things where it's ongoing for 6 months and then they deal with it at the end of the season. Potentially White may have something because it always seems to be him that comes off. Um, so I wonder if that has anything to do with it. But one thing I did notice when he did come on Cedric, he did not go in and invert. And this could be maybe reason why the football started to die off a bit. Again, naturally, you're not taking as much risk. But you saw his positioning. He kind of stayed out wide on the right, which left Partey in the middle by himself. Um, so yeah, a little change in the system. But yeah, big up everyone in the comments. Big up Chris Welch. He's here. Well done on your win from Liverpool fan. I expect nothing less. Yeah, this is the kind of this and Burnley. I don't expect any kind of anything else but a 3-0 win in a game like this. But I think it's the manner we did it in the first half was impressive. And this race is going to go down to the wire. There's obviously some big games coming up. No bigger than City Liverpool this weekend. Obviously we got Brentford. But big games for Arsenal coming up. We still got to go to Old Trafford. We got to go to White Hart Lane. And we've got to go Etihad. So there's three big away games we've got coming up. I'm not too sure who else Liverpool got. Obviously I know they've got City. Um, and City obviously have got to play Arsenal and Liverpool as well as another host of teams. So it's going to be interesting. Um, Tony's here he's saying turned into a training session. Yeah, and I think the one beautiful thing about Arsenal at the moment is we're sending home fans early. Again, another. To be fair to the Sheffield United fans, a lot of them did stay, but it cleared out from 15, 20 minutes. Fans were starting to leave. Half time, a lot more left. Um, so yeah, it was the clear out again. It's like the third or fourth game in a row where we've just sent players home early. So sent fans home early. So yeah, we're getting down to business. We're scoring lots of goals. Again, XG wasn't even that high, but we were clinical again this week today. So it's a positive. Tony saying I don't think Partey should come back in. Jorginho is more important. Again, I think you just have to give Partey time. Um, he has obviously physically, when he is fully fit and up and running, he carries a lot more presence. He can recover the ball better. Jorginho reads things really well, intercepts really well, but if it's a one-on-one, there was a game, is it last week, where someone just ran past Jorginho and yeah, he was done for. I think it was the goal. It was for Willock's goal against Newcastle. The guy just jogged past him. Like it wasn't his fault, but he just can't keep up with some things when the game's open. Um, whereas Partey will give you a bit more physicality. But on the ball, there's not much between them. And at the moment, Jorginho is ahead because again he's fit and he's been doing it for a while. So yeah, I expect Partey to get better. I think the most important thing is him getting through these moments and not getting another knock or injury. And again, you look at our bench today compared to previous weeks, the bench looked very, very healthy. I run through the bench so you can see the difference in the depth. So we had on the bench Ramsdale, Cedric, Partey, Smith Rowe, Fabio Vieira, Jesus, Nketiah, Trossard, and Nelson. So that's all first team players, like no youth players, none of the under 23 squad are in that. You still now have Timber to come back in, Sinchenko is still out, and Tomiyasu. So yeah, when one of those three come back in, that again, the strength is getting back up to what we want to expect. I'm going to bring Daymos in. He's in backstage, so I appreciate him joining me. Um, I'm gonna is Daymos in. Ah, hold on, this is my fault. Now we can see you. Just gonna get to this comment quickly. Let your boy Partey go. Yeah, I expect him to be going in the summer. Um, again, it's been a horrific season for him. I'm just not going to write him off. I still think there's going to be a player in there. It just takes a bit of time. We've all seen those guys who have long injuries come back. They're never going to be up and running up to scratch in their first game back. Like, and the game's dead as well. So sometimes it's hard to play in those kind of games. But no excuses. He wasn't great. He was very sloppy. But I still think he has a big part to play for us for the rest of the season. Um, Tony saying Partey's probably injured now, having to shake hands with the players. Yeah, he sprained the wrist. Damos, what you saying, bro? Thank you for
How you
joining. How
doing,
you
man?
keeping? I'm all right.
All
How you
good, man.
keeping?
Good. I'm good, man. Yeah, just
Yeah.
enjoyed the game. I did miss. I was driving back, so I was listening to the first half. So I missed
Mm,
the first half an hour visually, but I heard
mm,
it. You know what I mean? Um, so yeah, no, it was good to see. Touching on Party. Before I forget, I see what you're saying. You can see he's a little bit rusty, but what I did see that reminded me of what he used to do is just the way he sort of drives forward between a couple of players. There's a few times where he did that and then he was looking for an option. Sometimes he couldn't find one, so he played it safe. But it just reminded me of the qualities he does have. Whether he can stay fit or not, we'll see. But yeah, no, I'm just happy to see he's back. And Jesus is back. And as you were saying a minute ago, we got Timber to come back as well.
hmm
Yeah,
It's looking good, isn't it? And again, we've got Brentford this weekend. Can't look too far
mm,
forward. Every game one game at a time, but they haven't been in the best of form of late. I expect this run to continue, and then we have a little break. I hear. I think it's FA Cup. Well, we have Porto, and then we have like 10 days off because I think it's FA Cup weekend
yeah.
that weekend. So, and obviously we're not in that competition, so we got some time off. So, yeah, definitely get a win in your next game, beat
We need
Porto,
a win.
then rest up again. Timbo should be now getting some minutes under his belt. Hopefully, probably behind closed doors. Maybe another trip to Dubai. However, I
Mm,
wouldn't want to jinx it. I don't want to jinx it because yeah, we've been absolutely a different level. Um, since we come back. Tony said stats Partey gave the ball away 50% of his passes. Maybe. I'm not going to dispute it.
mm.
He was keeping it simple, but he was trying some longer balls and getting people in behind. So don't want to read too much into that because
It
he was trying to open things up second half. He'd done a couple of balls
was.
over the top and tried to dink a few behind. So I'm not mad at someone for trying to do because it's easy to keep it simple, isn't it? I was getting bored still thinking someone please do something. So yeah, let's not read too much into that. Um, Hamilton AFC is happy that Partey is back. So yeah, same as me. The depth is important, isn't it? He might not start a game for the rest of the season, but having him as an option
Mm.
is definitely better than not having him as an option. Do you know what I mean? So um, yeah, I'm definitely happy he's back. Tony's saying Brentford won't be easy, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
But do you know what, Brentford? We just have to win it. I know that sounds obvious, but we do because if we can get that game out of the way, we're first, aren't we? We're playing on Saturday, aren't we?
Yeah, we play Saturday, and then them two are playing on Sunday against each other.
Yeah.
So
So just win that and see what happens. Because imagine
mm,
if that result went our way. Do you know what I mean? The table would look quite interesting.
yeah, so I think
Um,
I was looking at it earlier. I think if we win,
they drew.
touch wood, if they draw, we stay top. If any of them two win, they go top, but we go second. So if we win the
Yeah.
game, we end the weekend second place minimum. So yeah, it's important we get the win. Again, it's one of those things. You do what we've done in the last few weeks. You lose against Brentford, it's all for nothing, isn't it?
So
Um,
basically, win a game and we'll gain a place regardless, won't we? In
yeah,
theory,
yeah, that's it. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, without fail, we gain a place. So
just
it's a good
win.
look. It's a good look.
Yeah.
It's definitely a good look. Um, so yeah, did you manage to see like the highlights of the first half and stuff?
Yeah. I did. Oh, great goals. And I mean, I saw all of them. I just can't remember what order they were, but
Yeah, so
I
I've got
saw
the order,
Saka.
but I
Oh, go
can't
on,
remember.
give me
I
the
can't.
order.
So the order was Odegaard first, so it's Declan
Yeah, I
Rice
saw
cut
that.
it back.
Yeah,
The second one was the
that
own
was good.
goal from
Yeah.
Bogle. The third one, I can't remember what it was, but it was Martinelli, but I can't remember
Oh yeah.
what actually happened.
Martinelli passed it to I can't remember who to someone, and they cut it back to him, and then Martinelli
Ah, yes,
hit it in.
Took the deflection.
Yeah, who did he pass it to? Was that
Kivior.
Havertz? Oh, Kivio. Okay, wow,
Yeah.
okay, he's
So that
quite
was that
forward.
was that that was one that took the deflection, wasn't it?
Yes, that
The
was the
keeper was
one.
like,
Yeah.
they was trying to see if Rice was offside. I remember it now. Yeah, good memory. Thank you. I was sitting there earlier, couldn't wrap my brain around what the goal was, but so yeah, that was the third. The fourth, oh God, my mind's gone blank.
The fourth was
Havertz. The fourth was
yeah.
Havertz.
Oh, that was it Havertz? Was
Havertz.
it the fourth or the
Yeah,
fifth? That was the fourth, wasn't it?
yeah.
Do you know
Yeah,
what?
Havertz
That
was the
was
fourth.
that was a tidy finish. Every week
Mm.
is finishing. As I always cuss him, like not cuss him, but I'm saying, look, his finishing is never that great, but he's been getting goals, so I'll take that. But for the last 2 or 3 goals he's scored, his finishing's getting a lot better, more clinical. So let's
Yeah,
hope it continues.
yeah, 100%. And after all, I think that was an important one for him because he scored a lot of goals where you're not, some people say there's some strikers who, when they don't have to think about the finish, they
Mm,
score. When they have to think about it, they miss. And
yeah.
I think Andy Cole was one people used to say that about. When it was instinctive, he
Mhm,
scores. But when you give him too much time, he maybe
yeah.
overthinks it and tries too much, or tries to put it in the corner too much, or overhits it. And Havertz wasn't reminding me of that because a lot of his goals he scores have been kind of one-touch finishes, just reacting in the box. Whereas this one was, do you know what I mean?
Mm,
Everything was perfect with him. He took the ball, the touches were better. We've seen before where he's been in on goal and he's had a bad touch.
yeah,
And I
yeah.
think that's probably why he took it early. He probably thought, I'm not trying one more touch. And it was a clean strike. I think
Hey,
it's
it was
probably one of
lovely.
the cleanest goals for him for out in an Arsenal shirt, I would say, this
Yeah.
season. And again, he continues to impress.
Mm.
Um, I wouldn't say it was in the game as much this week as other weeks, but he got a goal and an assist. Like,
Hey,
and
wait. He was there. He was involved in with Jesus where they broke free. Jesus tried to turn and he kind of messed up. Havertz was there to clean it up.
clean up.
Um, he gets
Uh,
about.
yeah, I mean, I said it's nice to have the options, isn't it? Like, and again, just bringing Jesus back into it slowly rather than before when he's come back fit, we've rushed him back in and he's broken
Mm,
down again. It's Trossard and Havertz, so kind of making it where actually we're not rushing some of these players back in. So yeah, that was the
definitely.
fourth goal. Fifth goal was Declan Rice's goal, Saka cutback.
Yeah, that was
That was a
nice.
nice one. And my pick of
Clever
the
play.
goals was in the second half was Ben White's. I think that was
Oh,
a clean strike on his weaker foot. Clean strike.
that was lovely.
Yeah, so emphatic victory, isn't it? Like it's just a nice way to kind of round up the weekend, isn't it? So
Yeah. It's were you expecting this kind of result though?
I'll be honest, I did expect us to beat them up. I wasn't expecting that first half because I thought they're going to be quite resilient. Again, you
Mm.
didn't see the first half. They started with a back four, um, and so Sheffield United never play a back four since they came up to the Prem last time. They never played a back four, so it surprised me that they chose this game to come and play a back four. And
You know why?
we
They're thinking we're gonna leak goals. We need to hold it, and obviously it didn't work. But that was
no,
that was the plan.
we cut them open quick. And said you missed the first, we hit the bar within 3 minutes and had
Oh
one
wow.
cleared off the line. Yeah, Saka hit the bar and it fell to Martinelli. He hit a good volley and it got cleared off the line within 3 minutes. And then after that was open season. They made a substitution in the first, I think,
I saw that. I saw that bit.
12, 14 minutes. Yeah. So yeah, it was
Wow.
open season. Um, Tony, this is why we love you. He's coming. He said Arteta said Saka was feeling sick, and Martinelli is just a cut on the ankle. As we said, I said it might be bruising. It didn't look, but again, you never know if you catch a metatarsal or something in the wrong area, it could break. But yeah,
Mm.
luckily it's just a cut on the ankle, nothing more. So I'm expecting both of them to be fine for Saturday. So yeah, we've come out unscratched. Well, one person got a scratch, and maybe there's a
Yeah.
couple of scratches to the eye. I saw Jesus bleeding. Gabriel, no, Martinelli caught one to the eye as well. But all in all the boys will be fit for the weekend. So yeah, really, really good performance. Anyone you want to talk about? Any standout performers you want to talk about?
I was just I'm just happy with the way the team is just blowing teams away at the moment. I mean,
Mm.
they say sometimes, what was that season where we peaked? We peaked in pre-season. Was it last year or the year
Yeah,
before?
last
We
year.
peaked
Last year
in
we started off like a
pre-season,
house of fire. Yeah,
blowing teams away in pre-season when we beat Chelsea 3-0 in pre-season and all of that. And then it's like, then you run out of steam at some point in time. And it
mm,
seems like we're hitting the form at the right time. And let's just hope it continues to the end of the season, man.
yeah,
I know
yeah.
it can. So,
It's been a long time, a long, long time, in all honesty, where we've been like top goal scorers at this time of the season.
mm,
Um, and again, it's a massive turnaround because we wasn't scoring many goals for a while. But again, since the bye, we've come back and we're firing in some goals. And um, if you actually look at the goal scorers, Liverpool has scored 64, City have scored 62, Arsenal scored 68. Um, so then you match that with the defensive record, Liverpool conceded 25, City conceded 27, Arsenal conceded 23. So both ends at the moment we have the best numbers. Again, I understand we've got maybe some harder games to come pretty soon. Do you know what I mean? We've just had Burnley, Sheffield United in this run. No, I don't think no one was expecting us to hit Newcastle and West Ham the way we have, but we're firing at the moment. It's beautiful to watch. But let's touch on the defensive side of it because I think
mm,
I don't expect us to score 5 goals each game. I think
no.
it will slow down pretty soon. It could be this weekend, hopefully not. But defensively, we always have a chance to win a game at the moment because these guys don't give up chances. Again,
Mm,
another game where there was 0 shots on target. I think Reyes made 4 or 5 saves in the last 6 games. And I
well,
think three of them is in one game. I think, and again, they're not difficult saves. I think he's pulled off one really good save. He actually made a good save today, but the guy was
I
offside.
saw that. Oh yeah, I saw that. I saw that when he was through. And
Yeah,
then,
yeah, yeah,
yeah, I saw
yeah. He
that.
made a good save, and I was wishing he was kind of onside after that. 'Cause I thought, poor Ray, his highlight reel is horrible for saves. But this back line at the moment, it's we're just not giving up chances. Like
Mm,
it's
they
such a
work so
platform to
well.
build off. Yeah, like it happens every now and again. You go through a game and think, oh, we didn't have a no, they didn't have a shot on target. But for this to be, I think 3 out of the last 6, the team hasn't had a
That's
shot on
something
target.
special, man. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
like
And
I think
I don't
for
say too
Liverpool,
much too early, but yeah,
it's
it's
a strong foundation, isn't it, at the
it
moment?
is. Actually, I don't want to be the negative after you mentioned the positive, but I did notice it almost felt when it was 5-0 and 6-0, it almost felt like they were bored and they were playing around. When I say playing around, passing around the back really nicely, but there was a couple of times where we nearly let them in. A better team may have crucified us, but
Yeah.
let's hope it's just one of those games where you get complacent because it's so easy. But
Mm.
yeah, they're the areas you just got against a top team. You can't really afford to do that. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
100%. And
I mean,
I do
I'm
agree
being
with you.
harsh, but I just noticed. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, I do agree with you. We got into that, even when there's the sloppiness of the past, isn't it? Like,
Mm.
yeah, it weren't great, but
No, but
um,
overall, now we are solid, man. And
mm,
I, I don't. It's hard to say too much, but I don't like. Some people say forget jinx; it don't exist. But I don't want to jinx things. But um, I can't see teams getting 4 or 5 against us the way we're playing. Of course, it's possible, but I can't see us getting busted up. Yeah, you might
mm,
lose 1 or 2-0, but I can't see us getting demolished. But it can
no,
happen. But again,
yeah,
I just can't see it happening the way we're playing now.
yeah, I agree.
Um, and that's a positive. And one quick question: what do you feel? How do you feel about like this season? We talk about this season, yeah. We want to try and win the league and win Champions League, whatever. But if we're playing like this, how do you feel about the future? How do you
Oh,
feel about the future for our team?
I know this is going to wind up Tony, and if Carl's around, he's not going to be happy with me. He's going to be looking for me. But I've said from start, even pre-season, and it's quite enjoyable because I'm not going into the season to win it. I said last season we didn't go in to win it, but I think the position we was in, the lead we had, it then became like, oh, how are
Mm,
we throwing it away? I then looked at our transfer dealings this year, the injuries at the start, and in my head I was like, we're not really prepared to win the league yet. In all honesty, however, we're very very close. I then made the bold prediction and said I think we'll win 3 out of 5 league titles from 2025, and that was in line with hopefully Pep leaving City,
mm.
De Bruyne's contracts up that year, like end of next year. Obviously, Klopp's now left, so I'm sticking to that. I do think we are going
I
to be
know.
the dominant
I
team.
saw you say it. I don't know how.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll pause you there for a second. I don't know how you come up with three. We need one first. But I know what you're saying.
Now,
You feel that we're going to dominate like
I feel we're
United
going
used
to
to
dominate. I
or
think it's going to
City
be our
used to.
yeah. I think it's going to
But
be our era. I think if you look at how everything's set up in terms of, again, I know football changes. I
mm,
understand teams will go and invest, and it only takes for City to go and buy Musiala and Hakimi and whoever else,
mm,
and all of a sudden now they're the best team again. I just think every other team's going to go through a transition. Obviously, Chelsea are going through theirs now. So United are going to have to transition.
mm,
Um, we don't worry about Tottenham. Liverpool obviously are coming to the end. They're still strong, don't get me wrong, but
mm.
you're talking Mo Salah's going to. They have got great attacking players. Van Dijk's getting up in age, even though he's still really good. Now
Our
Klopp's
team's
leaving, so
young.
they're going to have to change. City again, they've dominated for a long time. Will Pep get bored and want to go? And if you look at his team, yes, they have got some good young players in there as well, but some of them reliable ones for them are Bernardo Silva, they're your De Bruyne's, they're your. I'm not sure how old Rodri is, to be honest with you.
Mm,
Um, but I just look at this team, Carl Walker again, he's getting up there in age. I just look at this team and think in 2 years' time, our oldest player would be Zinchenko at 29. If you took our main 11, obviously, you take out your Partey, your
mm,
Trossard, and because Jorginho, I expect them guys to leave in the next couple of years. But your main
mm.
core in 2 years' time, Sinchenko's your oldest at 29, Jesus is 28. That's the prime for them guys. Saliba's going to be 24, Saka's 24, Odegaard's 25, Ben White's 26. Do you know what I mean? And so these guys with 4 years experience, like obviously they've already had 2 years, now another 2 years on top of that. I feel they're all coming into their prime at the same time. Martinelli's going to be 24. Like,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I just feel
I
we're
see
going
what
to
you're
go on.
saying.
If we're doing this now and are so close in 2 years' time with that bit more experience, again, we're going to add to this as well. I just think we're going to be the dominant team if we can keep it together.
But
It does
three.
rely on keeping it.
So you said 3 out of 5. I mean,
Yeah,
I
I've
do
gone
agree
bold.
with you. No, wait. I do agree with you that we can be. I feel that we can be competing on a
Yeah.
serious level at least 3 or 4 times.
Mm.
We may. I reckon we have the ability to at least win once,
Yeah,
and then let's. If we get the one out of the way, then we'll see if we can do
then
the
we go.
whole
Yeah,
dominant for
yeah.
2 years, 3 years. But at the moment, I do think we can. We have the ability to be there and thereabouts
Mm,
for at least 3 or 4 years at this rate.
yeah.
As long
And
as,
I think what
yeah,
helps as well, FFP have actually come in and clamped down on things because again, you hear all these things, but for years you keep hearing of things are happening and
mm,
nothing ever really gets done. And it actually looks like FFP are really clamping down. So you saw in the January, everyone's transfer strategy is out the window because there's no room to maneuver.
yeah,
And I think that plays a big part because I think done are the days where you can just throw 500 million at a problem. I know Chelsea have tried to spend a bill, but they've brought in youngsters. So as much as it's not working now, in 2 years' time, Chelsea could be similar to Arsenal, where you've now got players who are 24 to 26 with a
mm.
lot of experience in the Premier League, and they come into their own. So I'm not looking past Chelsea in the future, but yeah, I just feel this team's dominant, and how football is again. If City can't go out and just make major signings, it will have influence. It could have an impact long term. And again, I think if Pep leaves, like yes, they were going to recruit, but it's not going to be easy for any person coming and taking over. And the same as Liverpool, it's not going to be easy taking over from Klopp. Like there is going to be a transition for them. So I think we can capitalize. I really do. And yeah, like you said, the most important thing is getting that first one. That is the most important thing. Getting that first one to kind of shake off the cobwebs, and then you look for domination, don't you? Tony saying we need to keep Madrid from our players. Yeah, and lucky, I'm so happy I'm not hearing any links yet. No, I think they've been linked with Hakimi recently. They said they're gonna get Davies, so they can't get him for cheap this year. They'll wait till the end of next year, and he'll be on a free. And I think they're gonna do the same with Hakimi. So as long as I don't hear any Saliba links to Madrid, then I'm happy because I think that's probably the only team that could actually take some of these players away now. I don't see anywhere else which is really attractive for one of our players to go unless it's big money. Then someone might go, but in terms of football, where do you go at the moment? Like it's it's a weird football. It's weird at the moment. You know, Barcelona that was attractive. I don't see them as attractive no more.
No, no.
Bayern Munich, I don't see it as attractive. Um, yeah, so for me, it's only PSG's. Yeah, that's done now, isn't it? Really, Italy's all right, but I still can't see people looking going to cause uproar to leave Arsenal to go to one of the Italian teams. I think Madrid
Mm,
is the one team. I think if Madrid come knocking at the moment,
that's the
you
one.
want to
Yeah,
go there. Yeah, yeah. I think even you look at not just the team, but the age of their squad. Like again, you're going in. You almost walk into the similar dressing room to Arsenal's if you go in there where everyone's in and around your age. So the atmosphere is going to be a certain way. The football's flowing. Like, but what they got some real world class players there, haven't they? Like if Mbappe does sign there, and you got Vinicius, you got Bellingham,
mm,
Chouameni, like it's the list is endless there, isn't it? So, but I think we're in good stead. I really do think we're in good stead. So yeah, that's why I'm quite relaxed this year. Like, yes, I want to win something. Don't get me wrong. If we win,
mm.
I'm gone crazy. I'm going to the tour. I'm there. I'm going for the bus parades. Like nothing. But I'm just a bit more patient than I think some others. I know some. We've been starved a bit. My nephew said he's seen. He's 25. He's seen one title. My son's 16. He's never seen a league title. Um, so I get the need for one, but I
Mm.
think I'm just pay. Again, not don't want to sound like I'm just happy challenging, but if I think back, I couldn't see this coming for a long, long time. Like we were,
Yeah, it's come
like,
a lot sooner.
you know,
Coming into today.
we're desperate for top four. Like we're in seventh position, and they're only 9 points clear of top four. We can still make it. Like, do you know what I mean? We went through all those times, so to see what we're doing now, it's yeah, I'm happy with it. To be fair,
Um,
um,
do you think, Gumsa, do you think that because of our position at the moment, it's taking a bit of the pressure off the
yeah.
running?
I think sitting in third is definitely helping us, almost just on the shoulder, isn't it?
Mm,
And yeah, I think that yeah, the pressure is off, and I think that experience from last year. I think if you think back to Arteta's reign, we missed out on top four, and kind of, do you know what I mean, fell off towards the end of the season. We learnt from that last year, and we went, do you know what I mean, a lot better. We ended up second, but we fell off again. So it's almost like, and like you said, we almost started the season slow.
mm,
Would that work? Would that help us now coming into the running because we now look like we're we're almost like what you see City go on this run where they just start hammering
mm,
teams. It's almost like we're doing that, and I'm not trying to compare us to City,
mm.
but we're just dismantling teams at the moment. It's
If it was City
yeah,
doing these last 3 or 4 results we've been having, they would be. Do you know what I mean?
yeah. Everyone
How do I
thinks the
say
league's
this
done.
in a PG way? But yeah, they would be getting. Yeah, I can't. There's no way I can say
Yeah,
it, but yeah, they
yeah,
would be getting excited over it. Do you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah. And I understand it because we've got previouses of just falling off towards the end. So I get and I think that's what we've got to shake off. Even if we don't win the league, but we stay there to the last game of the season,
Mm,
then in all honesty, like, do you know what I mean? That's an improvement. Do you know what I mean? If we go on from this run from now to the end of the year, we maybe lose to City and draw a game, and that means we lose the league by 2 points. Like, we stayed with it, whereas last year we kind of fell off a lot earlier.
yeah.
Like, when we were going for top four the year before, we fell off early. Like, we didn't take it to the last game. So, um,
But there were
yeah,
some
so
fans though who wouldn't be happy if not wouldn't be happy. They'll be like, all right, we need to make serious changes, change manager, all of this.
mm,
If what you just explained happened, and I feel that's the context is important.
I think you do have to respect what we're going up against. Like, this City team's being named late. For me, it probably is the best team we've seen in the Premier League. Um, Liverpool aren't no mugs, and they've been pushing City for years as well. I know they've had a kind of a rebuild in midfield this year. they've got some killers up top. They've got
mm,
most expensive centre back, most expensive goalkeeper. Do you know what I mean? So they've got a strong squad. So I think again depends how we do it. If we really fall off and we throw, we just say the last like there's what let's just say there's 10 games, we lose six
mm,
of them. Then yeah, it's a bottle
mm.
kind of job. But if we
Yeah.
maintain the standard and form and we just get nipped at the end, it's not for me. It's not an Arteta outflex. You know what I mean? You have to praise that he's going toe to toe with those two managers because they are two of the best right now. Um,
Mm,
and yeah, what's Tony saying? He's saying, let's be honest, we had a crap squad when we finished fifth. Yeah, and this is one thing you have to, as I said, when Arteta leaves, one thing you can't question is how he's left his squad. We see Mourinho go places, and he has a good time. He wins trophies, but he leaves the team an absolute mess when he goes. And sometimes it does take a long time to repair that. Whereas I think whoever gets this inherits this team after Arteta, as long as the players have still got some energy in their legs and they don't burn out, they're inheriting a great squad. Do you know what I mean? Which is the most important thing, really. And as Tony's saying, it's about competing and improving. Um, but let's get into this because he wants us to talk about Havertz, and I'm not about. I'm not. We've got two players we want to talk about before we get into player rating. So Havertz is the one he wants to talk about. Again, came in, he had a lot to prove. It almost seemed like Arteta was sticking with him at the start because it's a case of
mm.
it's my sign and I'm gonna make it work. He then came out the
It has
team
to
for a
work.
little bit, if you remember,
Yeah.
and since he's come back in, he's looked a different player. He's confident and he's scoring goals. It always
Mm.
helps. He's playing well. He's bringing something different.
Yeah, he's
What's your thoughts on
gelling with everyone. I
Havertz? You
know.
like it?
Same. I mean, I wasn't a big fan when he came. I always wanted him to do well. Sorry.
Yeah,
Yes, but it's like he improves every game. I'm not saying he's a top level, but he's improving to a very decent level, and he's getting us goals and assists along the way. Not just that, he's contributing to the team. Um, I know you've got people like Jesus who contributes, doesn't always score, but I know he's techie with his footwork and whatever. But Havertz contributes the same kind of way, but gets the goals. It's also it's a funny one, isn't it? If you're going to compare and decide who to put in. But back to Havertz, I'm happy with how he's growing as a player. Every
yeah.
single game.
Where do you see
Um,
his best position? Do you see him in his best in the eight, the advanced eight on the left hand side, or as the number nine? Where do you feel is his best
it's
position?
it's a tricky one because whatever position you put him in, it's if you compare him to other players, it's almost unfair because
Mm,
on paper those players will always appear like a better option. Um, but I don't know, he's doing it in whichever position you're putting him in. When I
mm,
say he's doing it, the team is benefiting from it. Do you know what I mean? In some sort of way. So I don't know where his best position is, but if he's in either of those two, I
mm.
don't mind. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, as I said, for me, especially where we play, it's just a starting position, isn't it? We move around so much, we're so
Yeah,
fluid. If he drops in, Rice runs in behind. If it's when it was him and Trossard playing, he was going up and winning heads, and then Trossard's running in, and then he ends up in midfield. It's so fluid
they got
that
great understanding
yeah,
between each other.
yeah, he's definitely bringing something. Again, people will always argue, and even to this day, people still argue if we should have got Odegaard or if we should have got Madison that year, and there's always going to be those comparisons. But I think we just have to move on from it. We've got him. We've got Odegaard. These
Mm,
are performing. He's involved in goals. He's getting assists. He's holding things up. I agree with this from Tony. He said Havertz will cause City issue if he plays up front. And I think he brings something different when he plays up front than some of the others. And again,
mm,
it's just physicality. Sometimes that makes a difference. Just so I can get it up into you, can you hold it? Can you now get us up the pitch? Because there's going to be times in that game where we have to suffer, as Arteta loves to say, where we don't have possession. We have to get in a good shape, dig in, and when we do get the ball back, we need to keep it. And he does offer that option to go into him quite direct, and
mm,
it keeps the centre backs honest. So yeah, I think he has a part to play, and I do think he has a part to play. And he played in the League Cup, not League Cup, the Charity Shield game. He played up front in that game, which we won. Um, so yeah, I think he's got a part to play. But let's also talk about. Hold on, sorry, Tony's here. He's saying it's about confidence with Havertz. Yeah, I agree, and he's feeling the love. it's a bit like Rare as well, isn't it? Since we've cut, I'm not saying it's the fans'
Mm.
fault why they have a bad game, but it seems like a lot of pressure's off now. I think start of the year coming in, there was a lot of pressure. We wasn't playing as good as a team, so we're automatically going to straight away say it's because Ramsey is not in goal, it's because Xhaka's not there, it's because we're starting Havertz off. Whatever it is, we're gonna look to last season and we was doing really well. So we look this year and think, well, what's the two things that's changed? It's Raya and Havertz, so they're going to come in for a lot of the stick. Um, but we've settled down now, and again, both of them are just gelling in so nicely. We're moving forward, aren't we? So but let's talk about our captain because he was man of the match today. We're going to do our player rating shortly, so he may be our man of the match, he may not, but he won it for Sky. Um, and he was just everywhere again today. He
Mm.
just orchestrates. Yeah, do you reckon? And Tony's saying he bets Madrid regrets letting him go for so cheap. Yeah, what's
It's
your
true.
thoughts on Odegaard? Yeah, and this is playing style and what he brings to the team, and
He looks like he's really enjoying it again. I'm not saying he wasn't, but he's just yeah. You can see them all just they're all enjoying it. This is not answering your question, but I was looking at all of the players and it's like they're having fun, man. Do you know what I mean?
mm,
Um, no, but back to Odegaard, I like the way he's just literally everywhere, as you're saying, and he's got that little intricate kind of footwork he can do. Sometimes it doesn't work, sometimes it does, but he does cause people problems. And
yeah.
who was it he was linking up with? So some little 1-2s, little triangles. Do you know what I mean? It was nice. It was nice to see.
Yeah, yeah, no, he was oozing today. And it involved in everything. When they sat deep, he then come deep and got on
Mm.
the ball and started playing. I'm not sure if you saw it. He put a pass in for Martinelli. Oh my word, he cut this pass like a grass cutter, one of those Thiago specials. You know, when it just sits on top of the
Mm.
grass and it just fit. Oh, it was beautiful. And I think Martinelli then passed it to Saka, who got crowded. He shot and someone got a block in. But the
Okay,
pass was unreal. Yeah, if you get a chance to watch it back, if you recorded the game, go back and watch it back, and you'll see what I mean. The pass was
definitely.
unbelievable, and yeah, he just like you said, he look like he's enjoying. He's playing with a lot of freedom. He's back in the goals again. Um, yeah, he just looks like yeah, he's just lead. He's leading, isn't he? He's just everywhere, and yeah, yeah. I said I was one who wanted Madison, but I'm not mad with Odegaard at all. I think he's done really well since he's been at Arsenal, and that 35 mil is yeah on
Mm.
what a great bit of business. Like I think that will go down as one of them signings, which is do you know what I mean? Like very good value for money. Like
But at the time
so
we bought him, though, he had a few good games.
yeah,
That's
because he
why
came
when
in
you bought
obviously
him, like,
he came in on loan, didn't he? He came in on
yeah,
loan
he
from
had a few good
Christmas.
games, just a few normal games. Like it wasn't enough for me to think, well, I want to buy this guy. Do you know what I mean? But when we bought him, he was just yeah.
Yeah, and even him getting the armband was a bit like a bit of a shock 'cause I think at the time, obviously, Shaka kind of took himself out of the running
Mm.
with it. I think he would have probably been odds on to get it at that time. But then Tierney was around, and there's a couple of other guys who had been there for a little while. So it was a bit of a shock when Odegaard got it. But yeah, he again, he's not doesn't seem like the guy who's going to be in your face shouting and screaming, but he definitely leads. He definitely sets the example, and the rest of the guys
Yeah,
follow. Um, so yeah, I'm very happy with him, and again, long may it
definitely.
continue. Tony saying he's still on the fence with Raya. Um,
What fence? I hope it's
he's
not a
on.
thin one, Tony. Was that fence or play?
Yeah, do you know? I think what it is with Raya, I think everyone still there's question marks over his shot stopping, and I understand that Ramsdale pulled off some unbelievable saves the last 2 years. So I think the question marks over Raya's shot stopping, but what you can't deny is him on the balls, just so confident and but again, if we're not conceding chances, then but again, that's always a risk in it. I think that's why people
Mm.
sit on that fence. But yeah, that's what else he says. When Odegaard done me the Sheffield player, I fell off the server trying to chase him. Yeah, he even runs at like a weird angle, Odegaard, doesn't he? Like he has
Yeah,
this weird way of moving.
strange running
Like
style. But yeah,
yeah, like he twists and turns in this unique little way. Like yeah, you can't. Yeah, he just drops shoulders and dummies and um yeah. Who you referencing here? I don't think there's much difference between them both. Is that Ramsdale and Rare you talking about, or was that an
I,
earlier
I'm
convo?
guessing Ramsdale there. I'm guessing.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So
I'm
you
guessing. I don't know.
was you not
Let us know,
w-
Tony.
was you not too keen on Ramsdale either, Tony? I think when you've been watching Edison and Allison for so many years, they are like the standout too. So I do think in their prime they're above Raya and Ramsdale. But where do you find another keeper of them two stature? Do you know what I mean? Of Allison and Edison. So
It's still a
um,
shame what's happened with Ramsdale, though. He's probably going to
yeah,
leave, isn't he? Because
yeah, he's definitely
he
gone.
wants,
Definitely
he
gone.
needs first team. I have Ramsdale, yeah.
Yeah, I actually feel sorry for him as well because it's going into the Euros this year. So he probably will be in the squad, but there's no chance of him dislodging Peter.
No.
But he was very close. Like, do you know what I mean? If you think of
Yeah,
last year, he's pushed him all the way, and a good season this year would have really tipped it over the line. And everyone loves Ramsdale.
yeah.
In all honesty, like he was a real character. He was what was needed at the time. And even you see him on the bench early, he's smiling and talking, and I think he's obviously accepted what his future is at this club. And again, I hope he doesn't go Chelsea, but you do wish him well. He's one of the players you wish well when he leaves. Even though he will give a stick if he comes back and beats us
Yeah.
for another team, he
Yeah.
will stick it on us. But
King of shit house with you, man. You would
yeah,
definitely give it.
yeah. Tony said he prefers Ramsdale. He didn't let us down. Yeah, again, there is. I think every keeper's gonna make mistakes, or there's probably shots he should have saved. I do remember a couple of reactions last season where I was like, I think he should have done better. But all in all, I can't fault for what he's done, and I was surprised when we went and got a keeper in all honesty, because he didn't seem like the problem with this team. And I do stand by. I think he is definitely a better shot stopper than Raya. But I think he does have a bit more risky moments with the ball at his feet than Raya does. However, I used to love his passes when he used to cut them through the middle of the park. Like,
Mhm.
everyone's looking one way and he used to just reverse one through the middle. So I do miss that. Um, and Tony thinks the Ramsdale situation did affect the players early on.
Yeah, I believe so,
Yeah,
because they're all close, and that's not nice if someone gets frozen out like that. So I
yeah,
believe that too.
yeah. I do. One thing I do like about Ramsdale is when he came out and said, I'd done the same thing to a keeper at Sheffield United when I got brought in there, and I'd done the same to Leno when I got my opportunity. He didn't play again. So the
Wow.
game is the game, innit? And I think he's not going to be happy with it. But yeah, I think a mentality like that is he will have a good career somewhere. Like, it's unfortunate it's not with us because him as a person, he was brilliant for us. Like I said, everything he embodies so much of what I like in a footballer. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
The shithousery, the giving opposition fans some stick. Like, yeah, I used to love watching Ramsdale, man.
So
Like,
egging on the team, do you know what I mean?
yeah,
He's all about that.
he was a big personality, and I think we all miss that personality in the dressing room. There's no doubt about it. He looked like he had a really good rapport with the players. So yeah, it's a bit unfortunate, but again, I think it's one of the things. If we do go on and are successful this year, I don't think anyone looks back at the decision to put Rare in and
Mm.
ever we question it. Do you know what I mean? It's only if things really fall apart we then will question it. Uh, give Arteta praise, but let's not forget how he's treated Ramsdale. But again, we wasn't saying it when it was Leno, and I know we think Ramsdale's a better keeper than Leno, so I get the sentiment. But when Leno got dropped out of the team, no one batted an eyelid. You know what I mean? But it's because we like Ramsdale, and again, the game is the game. It's football. Um, you say how he's treated him, and again, everything doesn't look bad behind the scenes between them all. Obviously, he's just lost his position, which happens in football. Do you know what I mean? Everyone will
Mm.
have to go through that at some stage. So I don't want to say the treatment's been bad, but obviously it came as a shock because no one, if you had, yeah, no one had Ramsdale as the one who was going to get replaced. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? It was like his position cemented. We've got a keeper. We're happy with this keeper. We're moving forward with other positions. And obviously, we get a loan signing in, and you think, okay, he's coming as number two, and obviously he's coming as number one. So, um, yeah, the game's the game, in all honesty. But right, let's get into some player ratings. We're going to fly through these really quickly today.
Hey, I might not be
Um,
good. I might not be good to do the ratings, but I didn't catch the whole game,
All right, cool. All right. We'll run
So
through. I'll run through them and
done.
then yeah. So we start with Raya in goal. Give him a seven. Just before we get there, same with Martinez. Arteta has form for doing this. That one was the bigger shock for me when we put Leno back in instead of Emmy. Emmy was brilliant. Won the FA Cup and
Nah, but Martinez was a tough one because he had a good 6 month run. So he was
yeah,
amazing, but it's like,
yeah,
okay, is he just having a good run, or do we stick with
yeah,
the safe option? But it turned out
yeah.
Emmy wasn't having a good run. That's him. So
Mm,
I understand that decision why we got rid of him.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? Because
I was shocked at that because it was just his stature as well. He was so big.
no, but
It was
in the
just
same breath,
commanding.
sorry to cut you there. In the same breath,
Yeah,
that season, Eddie was on fire, and it's like, well, you're gonna replace Eddie for Jesus because Eddie's had a
that's
good
true.
6 months. So it
That's
was the
true.
same thing at that time, personally.
Yeah, and I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. Um, right, back into the player rating. So I'm going to give
Okay.
Rare a 7. He didn't have much to do in all honesty. Again, kicking was good, kept the ball well. Ben White, I'll give it 8. Brilliant finish. Saliba will get a 9. Actually, not 8. I'll give him an 8. Gabriel will get an 8. They didn't have to do much, and none of them scored this week, which is a disappointment. We didn't score from a corner. I was disappointed with that. Kivior will get 8. Yeah, 8. I'll give Kivior an 8. Um, I think the hardest thing is, I think if the second half continued like the first half, there'll be all 9s and 10s, but we just
Mm.
chilled in the second half. So, um, Jorginho get an 8, Rice would get a 9. I'm really flying through him today. Odegaard get a 10, him a man of the match. Um, who else played? Saka get a 9. First half he was cooking, and then obviously came off with feeling ill. Martinelli would get a 8. Um, Kind of probably comes out with better numbers than Saka, but Saka was definitely carrying more of the threat. Trusty had a horrible day playing against him. And then Havertz, I'll give a 9 to as well. Subs, I'll give them all 6s. I don't think anyone really. It's hard for them coming into that game. It really was. Um, so yeah, I give them all 6s.
Who was the
Manager,
biggest?
go
Oh,
on.
go on.
Yeah, go on. You go.
Okay, who was their biggest threat to us overall in the whole game? Like which position?
Thomas Partey.
No, not.
Partey was the biggest threat.
It's true.
He was actually the biggest threat to Arsenal at some stages, man. He gave two.
Shit.
To be fair, one of them wasn't his fault. Cedric's put the ball in a horrible position
Yeah, I
for him,
saw that one, but
and then
yeah, that's
he's
funny.
tried to push it back to Saliba or Gabriel, and then they
All
broke.
right,
But yeah,
all right.
Partey was the biggest threat, man. Partey was definitely the biggest threat. Honestly, it was they
Oh
had
dear.
nothing. They had
All right, go
nothing.
back to the manager now.
Yeah, to be fair, actually, Jaden Bogle, even though he scored for Arsenal, I think he had probably the most shots. Like he had 2 shots, didn't hit the target, but he
Mm.
actually had the most shots. Tony enjoyed that one. He said he agrees. First time probably he agrees with me. Partey's the biggest threat. Um, yeah, Arteta, I'm going to give him a 9, um, just because the second half was just a bit dull. But starting this game and blowing teams away, what can you can't ask for much more in it. 9. It
Mm.
feels harsh giving a 9 when you've lost 1-6-0. In all honesty, he's got through another game with another clean sheet, no real injuries. Like, yeah, I'll give him a 9, man. But yeah, tougher test to come, we think. But I said this about Newcastle and we slapped them lot about. So yeah, it's enjoyable. It's just enjoyable at the moment, isn't it? Like,
Yeah,
it's just
that
enjoyable,
is.
man.
Got to keep back
Obviously,
in
I
the
know,
team, man.
yeah, definitely. And again, it's the stylistically the issues with thinking we need a striker. They've just answered the critic. These guys, and again, fair play to these players. They've answered the critics because they've all, not just one of them. It's not like we just got Havertz going on a mad run and he scored 10 out of the 10 goals. You know what I mean? It's all of them stepped up and said, all right,
Mm.
you think
Pitching
we
in,
need a striker. And again, there's another
chipping
game where
in, yeah.
I think was it West Ham. There was 5 different goal scorers or 4 different goal scorers. Burnley was something similar. Like all the players are chipping in. Do you know what I mean? A lot of the
Yeah.
front three are scoring goals, and the midfielders are chipping in. So yeah, it's long may it continue. Long may it continue. But yeah, what's your give Arteta a score? I know you didn't really see the match first half, but
No,
what's
no,
your score on?
I would agree with yours because 9. Because all right, we're doing them well attacking wise. We want to see more goals, but if you think about it, we contain them to stop them from getting a goal, and we still got another goal. So it was well managed, basically. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? So again, it's more exciting to see more goals, but still we managed it and we didn't concede and
Yeah,
we still controlled it. So that's top. That's top from the team and top from the manager, to be honest.
definitely. All right. There was one. Where's the comment? Sorry, Tony. I think it was you. Okay, let's give you this one. He said Arteta a 7. He should have played Ramsdale, and he comes back against Brentford. Oh yeah, Rare can't play, can he, against Brentford? Yeah, do you know? I did not think of that.
Oh, sugar. Do you know
Yeah, we
what? You're
haven't
right now.
activated it. Unless, yeah, we haven't activated it. Sugar, yeah, good point. Maybe we should have brought him in January and then got rid of that problem. Um, and
Ah, do you know what's
same
going
with
to happen
Tony.
now then? Ah, just
Yeah,
poor Ramsdale. I mean, if he lets in
yeah, it's
one, people want to give him a
pressure
stick.
game in it. Pressure, and it's a pressure game in it straight away. Like
Mm,
if we now drop points in it, everyone's looking at him. So he done well last time against Brentford, to be fair to him. But yeah, Tony's player ratings: Raya a 7, White an 8, Saliba 7, Gabriel 8, Kirill 8, Jorginho 8, Rice 8, Havertz 9, Odegaard 9, Martinelli 8, Saka 7, sub 7. Being generous with the subs, but again, it is hard for them coming into that game when everyone else is now chilling in it. So
mm.
yeah, I agree with the subs. But yeah, not bad scores.
It's not bad.
Right, we're gonna get out of here. We almost done an
Yeah,
hour. I appreciate you for coming on. I really do appreciate you. Big up everyone for tuning in and listening, sticking with us. Yeah, hopefully more of the same this Saturday against Brentford. I'm pretty sure there will be a preview show. Um, and yeah, Arsenal, just keep doing what you're doing. You're making me very happy. Like I'm gonna probably go back and watch the game again now, especially the first half anyway, because I'm sad like that. Um, but
that's all
Damos,
good,
thank you
man.
so much for joining us.
No, thanks for
Guys,
having us, man.
yeah, definitely. Make sure you keep please liking, sharing, and subscribing. Leave your comments as well. I may even jump in the comments later and have some chit chat with some of you who've watching back on the rerun. Yeah, big up everyone who joined in. Tony, thank you for staying with me, especially at the start when I was by myself. Appreciate that. So yeah, from us here at the Armoury, we're out.